Hello, welcome to the channel. Someone in your family traveled to Brazil and never come home? Maybe it was a car accident or a poor maintained highway. Maybe it was a medical procedure that went through a private hospital. Maybe it was a violent crime and the local police investigation has gone nowhere. You are thousands of miles away. You do not speak Portuguese, and you have no idea what your legal rights are or whether anyone ever be held accountable. If that's where you are right now, this video is for you. When a person dies in Brazil due to someone else's negligence or intentional act, Brazilian law gives the surviving family the right to file a civil liability claim for damage. This is governed primarily by Article 186 and 927 of the Brazilian Civil Code, which establish that anyone who causes harm to another person through fault or negligence is obligated to provide full reparation. Article 948 specifically addresses wrongful death and provides that the responsible party must pay all funeral and medical expenses and must also compensate the family for the financial support the deceased would have provided over their lifetime. What most foreign families do not realize is that Brazilian law also recognizes what is called danos morais, or moral damage, which compensates the emotional and psychological suffering of the surviving relatives. Unlike many common law jurisdictions, Brazilian courts routinely award moral damage in wrongful death cases, and these awards are separate from and in addition to any material compensation. There are statutory caps on moral damage in Brazil through courts apply principles of proportionality and reasonableness when determining the amount. The important point for foreign nationals is this. You do not need to be a Brazilian citizen or resident to file a wrongful death claim in Brazil. The claim is governed by the law of the place where the death occurred. If it's happening in Brazil, Brazilian law applies, and Brazilian courts have jurisdiction regardless of the nationality of the victim or the surviving family members. Let me walk you through what this process actually looks like when a foreign family retains or firm to handle a wrongful death case. The first step is a confidential case assessment. You share with us everything you know about the circumstances of the death, the police report, if one exists, the death certificates, any hospital records, any communications you have received from local authorities. We review everything and determine who is legally responsible under what theory of liability. In a case involving a traffic accident, for instance, you might pursue the driver, the vehicle owner, the insurance company, and potentially the municipality responsible for road maintenance. All of them jointly liable under Brazilian law. In a case involving medical practice, we would pursue the physician, the hospital, and the hospital's insurer, building the claim around the expert medical evidence showing that the standard of care was breached. Once you have identified the responsible parties, we prepare the initial complaint, which is the formal petition filed with the competent state court in the jurisdiction where the death occurred. All documents that originate outside of Brazil must be apostille under the Hague Convention and translated into Portuguese by a certified sworn translator. Our firm handles the entire process, coordinating with translators and the relevant consular authorities so you do not have to navigate any of that from abroad. After the complaint is filed, the defendants are served and given 15 business days to respond. Brazilian procedure then requires a mandatory conciliation hearing, where the court attempts to mediate a settlement between the parties. In many wrongful death cases, defendants and their insurance recognize the strength of the claim at this stage and begin settlement negotiations. If a fair settlement cannot be reached, the case proceeds to the evidentiary phase, where we present witness testimony, expert reports, medical records, and any other evidence that establish both liability and the extent of the damage. One situation we handle frequently involves family who lost a loved one to criminal violence while traveling in Brazil. In those cases, the criminal prosecution and the civil claim are separate proceedings. Even if the criminal case stalls or perpetrator is never identified, the civil claim can proceed independently against other responsible parties. For example, against a hotel or a resort that failed to provide adequate security, or against a transportation company whose negligence created the conditions for the incident. Brazilian courts have consistently held that business owe a duty of care to the clients under the Consumer Protection Code, and failure to meet this creates civil liabilities for any resulting harm. The timeline for these cases varies depending on the complexity. A straightforward case with clear liability and cooperative defendants can reach a settlement with 6 to 12 months. Contested cases that proceed through trial and appeal can take 2 to 4 years. We keep your clients informed throughout the process with regular updates in English, and we handle all court appearances, filings, and communications with opposing counsels locally. The single most important thing to understand is that the statute of limitations. Under Article 206 of the Brazilian Civil Code, the deadline for filing a wrongful death claim based on civil liability is 3 years from the date of the death. If you miss the deadline, you lose the right to claim compensation permanently, regardless of how strong your case may be. Another common mistake is assuming that the criminal investigation will take care of everything. It will not. Criminal proceedings in Brazil address punishment, not compensation. If your family wants financial reparation, a separate civil action is necessary. Waiting for the criminal case to conclude before taking any civil action is one of the most frequently and costly errors foreign families make. Finally, hiring an attorney who does not practice in Brazilian court or who does not understand the specific procedural requirements for foreign partners, such as the requirement of an apostille power of attorney or the potential obligation to post a security deposit as foreign plaintiff, can result in procedural dismissions that delays or destroy the case entirely. Our firm represents foreign families in wrongful death and personal injury cases across all Brazilian states. We work remotely with clients worldwide through email and video consultations, so your physical location does not limit your ability to pursue justice in Brazil. We operate in English, Portuguese, Spanish, and French, and we maintain offices in Rio de Janeiro, São Paulo, and Lisbon. The initial consultation is confidential and focuses entirely in your situation. We review the facts, assess the legal viability of the claim, identify the responsible parties, and explain the procedure path forward, including an honest assessment of the expected timeline and potential outcomes. You should prepare to share any documents you have: the death certificate, police reports, medical records, photographs, and any correspondence from local authorities or insurance companies. If you have lost a family member in Brazil and you are unsure of your legal options, visit our website at alvesjacob.com. You'll find our contact details there. Send us a confidential email, describe your situation, and we'll respond with an initial assessment of whether we can help. No family should have to navigate a foreign legal system alone during these most difficult moments of their lives. We have been handling international cases for nearly 3 decades, and we are prepared to stand with your family through this process. If you like this video, share with your friends and relatives. We are here to help. And if you like, please subscribe to the channel and give us a contact, a message, or an email. Okay? Thanks a lot for watching. See you in the next video. Bye bye.